has talked about a great deal. It's no secret that religion and politics often go hand in hand. Faith-based issues are often critical to candidates and can potentially drive an election. But is faith taking a backseat this year to other issues like the war in Iraq and the economy? For a closer look, we're joined by Jennifer Palmieri from the Center for American Progress and Joe Watkins, a political analyst and Republican strategist. Joe, let me begin with you. We have heard the Christian Defense Coalition is on record saying that they feel that many evangelicals feel used and taken advantage of by the Republican Party. Even the group's director saying if Republicans lose the House or Senate, they have only themselves to blame. What has the Republican Party done wrong this year in terms of failing to energize or empower evangelicals?
Well, you have to remember, Norah, that there are 435 separate races going on in this country for the House and 33 separate races in the U.S. Senate. And politics does end up being local. All politics are local. And so voters in the various states, like in Virginia, where they're ballot on the measure having to do with same-sex marriage, or in the state of Missouri, where there's a ballot on the measure, that would push cloning, or at least open the door for cloning. People of faith are going to respond to these things. They're not going to do it in an organized way and voting for or against one party or the other. They're going to vote for what they think is right. And Jim Talent, for instance, on the issue of cloning, is against cloning. He's on the right side of that issue. He's going to get a lot of those evangelical votes.
Jennifer, let me ask you about that. We're stem cell, of course, and Michael J. Fox has been a prominent person in this debate, not only in those ads in Missouri, but also campaigning in Ohio. He was campaigning in a House district in Illinois. I was interested to see that in a Newsweek poll that a lot of people thought that Michael J. Fox was very sympathetic to those ads, and I heard even some Republican strategists tell me they think that those ads were pretty good, that worked to their advantage. Does it, though, energize evangelicals on the flip side?
I don't think that I think that, wedge issues like abortion, gay marriage, and I think those are sort of luxury item issues. They're issues that are big with conservative voters when they don't have something else to worry about. And I think this election's about Iraq. And then the secondary issue that people are concerned about is the economy. And I think that conservative evangelicals are turned off because the president hasn't delivered on gay marriage. He hasn't followed up on things that they thought that he would. They're unhappy about the war. They're unhappy that the president's not doing more on poverty. I mean, these are religious people, and it doesn't, their beliefs don't start and end with gay marriage. So I think stem cells can make people more sympathetic to Democratic voters, but I don't see it energizing the right.
Joe, what about that? Polls that show that evangelicals may stay home in this election.
I don't think that's going to happen. I think evangelicals are going to come out to the polls and they're going to vote, and they're going to vote in big numbers on Election Day because they have a lot to be concerned with. And most people who are now, I have an advantage. I worked in the White House for a Republican president, George Herbert Walker Bush, and I'm also a pastor. So I pastor a church, and I don't preach politics from the pulpit. But what I do tell the people in my church is to make sure that your faith plays a role in every part of your life, and that it informs even the way you vote. And so you have a lot of people who are not hard Democrats or hard Republicans who are going to go to the polls on Election Day, and they're going to vote for the candidates they think are right on the issues that they care about. And so that's why you're going to see a lot of Republicans do very, very well next week, because voters who have a strong personal faith are going to come out and support them because they stand the right way in the issues they care about.
Why do people of strong personal faith only support Republicans?
Well, maybe there are some Democrats, but for the most part, Democrats have not been as open as in coming out to say, guess what, this is where we stand on these core issues.
One exception, Joe, is Harold Ford, who, of course, has run this ad where he is in a church, and he says, I learned everything from my church, I learned everything from God. He ends his speeches with supporters saying, I respectfully ask for your vote, and please ask for your prayers. Jennifer, isn't that a sign that in a state like Tennessee, if Democrats want to run in a red state, you have to talk about your faith and values?
Well, I think that you have to talk about your faith and values if your faith and values are important to you. I don't think you can't fake it. And the American people are smart, and they can figure it out when people are faking it, and they can also figure out when people are using religion to try to exploit it for political advantage. And I think that, with the Republicans using gay marriage again, trying to use an issue, I think people are seeing through that. So if Harold Ford is a religious man, and I think if you're comfortable speaking about your faith, you should do that. But you should certainly, even if you're not religious, you should certainly speak about what you believe in politically in terms of what's right or wrong.
Jennifer Palmieri and Joe Watkins, thanks so much for your time. We greatly appreciate it.
Thanks, Norah.
And want the insider to